Want to rise above what holds you back? These are the stories of those fighting that battle. It might also be the story of you. I'm Dan Waldschmidt, author of Edgy Conversations and strategist to billion-dollar companies all over the world. This is Mark Minard, author of The Story of You, the guy who knows a thing or two about never giving up. You're listening to Elevating Beyond. Let's get started.
They got me losing my mind.
Mark Minard, the visionary behind Elevating Beyond, presents a groundbreaking live event, Minutes with Millionaires. This elevational event is for business owners, leaders, and their teams, as each of our speakers bring extensive experience mixed with real and raw emotion. Learn how to lead through the chaos, manage your stress, create massive new revenue, and get your hustle on. And for the first time ever, a 2-hour interactive Q&A session. We're talking massive truth bombs.
No one would invest in me. First of all, you've got to go and do whatever it takes.
Do what it takes to get to where you want to go.
If I want something I have never had, I must do something I have never done before.
Do what you love and make it big.
Cold world and I'm losing my mind.
Go to markminard.net for more information and to order your video now.
It's just, what is your morning routine and what do you do, to set your day? So I guess we go down the line.
By Bill's book. Did I hear, was that point number 4 or point number 5?
I don't know.
You got the whole...
Is it in here?
So, yeah, some of it's in there. Wow. I was going to turn into a commercial. So, morning to me, and I'm going to tell you guys, I told you guys that to change, you really have to reprogram the subconscious. And the subconscious is really designed not to be reprogrammed. You realize we're designed not to change. It's the way we're wired. So to step outside and feel the fear and go, you need to set your day in the green zone. So if you get up in the morning, you're grabbing a cup of coffee and you're hitting the news and you're hitting traffic, I guarantee you're walking in the office in the red zone. So people ask me all the time, now I have a crazy routine. I don't recommend my routine, but I'm up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm in the gym by 3:30 in the morning. The reason I started that was it doesn't take time away from my family. I never miss a workout. Then I come in and then I really work on my meditations and things. So I usually have a kind of a law that I'll do more before 6 a.m. than most people will do all day long. And I believe the level of your personal development that you work on yourself is going to determine your success, because the tribe doesn't want you. The culture doesn't want you to become an entrepreneur and be successful. So we're responsible for doing that. And once that becomes a routine and you do that morning routine, everything changes. Everything changes because you stepped outside. Now, Super Millennial, when he first started that, he lived with me, my son. This is my son, and come up here for a second,
Come tell me what it was like, 'cause
what was that like to start getting up at 2:30 in the morning?
It was definitely
young.
Interesting. Usually I'm going to sleep at that time, and you learn that you're really wasting a lot of time. Like he said, by lunchtime, I've done what most people done, in their entire day, and you really see I'm not putting off dates with my girlfriend or going to family events and things like that. It's being able to build a business, do what you have to do, go to work, and still have some type of a balance with your personal life. You're not sacrificing.
23.
Yeah. So it's a big change early.
Starting out.
And he's getting up at
every day, and he's building a business and working a job.
Drop the mic, dude.
Drop the mic.
Mic drop.
Because that's what it takes.
Super millennial.
That's what it takes.
So, okay, let me share my morning routine with you guys, if you don't mind, because I'll give you like 4 practical things that I do every morning. First thing I do every morning, I wake up, and Matt knows that I'm very militarized in what I do. First thing, if I really roll out of bed, I'll drink 40 ounces of water, roughly. Now, the first time you do that, you might think, oh, I'm going to feel bloated. Absolutely. First time you might do it, you're going to feel a little weird. But right after that, your body is spent all night. That's why you get up in the middle of the night and pee, or you get up in the first thing in the morning you do, your body's drained all that liquid. you will feel yourself become hydrated. You'll literally feel yourself.
Your brain has to have. I do the same
exactly.
thing. Your brain
You know that
has
from
to have
running.
that.
When you run, if you get dehydrated even the slightest bit, 1 or 2 or 3%, at 5% dehydration, you'll start to die. So that lets you know. For those and by the way, diet soda and tea here in the South is not water.
That is not hydration.
Water, real water. Real. So 40 ounces of water
Sorry.
start. I then I'll normally do some chores around the house. Why do we do chores around the house if I'm home? I'm trying to teach my kids. I'm a team player. I'll empty the dishes in the dishwasher. I might throw some laundry in the laundry. Stuff like that.
too.
Right? I'm
Yeah,
showing them
I
you're a
do that
man.
too.
This is not women's work.
Yes.
This is
Wow, that's
family
crazy.
work.
I thought
Big
I was
deal
the
for
only
me.
one.
We don't label this women. This is family work. And I tell our kids, if you're in this family, we do this together. If you don't want to be in this family, go do this on your own. But anyways, that's a side note.
I agree.
I journal 3 things every day. 3 things I'm grateful for, 2 things that would make the day awesome, and then 1 thing. I used to write 1 thing I could improve from yesterday. My therapist is like, dude, enough of this. Write down 1 thing you love about yourself. I started doing that. I meditate 15 minutes, by the way. I tried to get in transcendental meditation. For those of you who think that's scary, right on your phone, you can go to Omvana, you can go to brain.fm. That's what I love, brain.fm.
You got me to get that.
Yeah, I love it. So you put an app in.
Fantastic.
Yeah, put an app in your ear for 15 minutes, and you will feel better. I also meditate in the middle of the day, but that's how I start. And then I'll do some journal, check my schedule. Sometimes I've got early morning calls to other countries, and so other time zones. I'm kind of going through that whole thing. And then, for me, I have some affirmations I go through, and I don't want to go through all of them. One of the most important ones that I do is and I guess they call these mini meditations, maybe where I take like 5 seconds and think about something. Here's one of the main ones I think about as I start today. If I want something I have never had, I must do something I have never done before. If you want to lose weight, we talked about all things. You want to make money, you want to be a better leader, I can't do today what I did yesterday because I might have screwed it up yesterday. And I've screwed it up for all 37 years, 38 years of my life. So I have to do something different. I think about it. Just dwell on it for a couple seconds. The other thing I'm thinking about is just because I don't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening.
That's right.
How many times you diet January 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, oh my gosh, nothing is happening. Yes, it is happening. But unfortunately, it's going to take you 61, 62 days, and you would know more than I am. But before your body says, I'm actually going to show you the results, right? And so people freak out and go, this isn't working, and they quit. And by February 2nd, all the treadmills are available. But
I'm going to tell you, Dan,
right?
also, one of the things is there is really, I'm a scientist, by the way. Everything you're saying is true. Everything I do is science. When I went into medicine, I started researching why I was overweight. I want to understand metabolism. I'm a scientist. I understand meditation. I understand the nervous system. It's all science. Meditation is science. So one of the things is that morning routine is essential. I will never miss my morning routine. And David will tell you, it doesn't matter if I'm traveling, I travel a lot. I'm usually on the road about 100 days a year. I'm traveling. But the other thing's the night routine.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I always tell people, that first 10 minutes of your day and the last 10 minutes of the day will set you for life. And one of the things I do, and damn, we're so much alike. So the last 10 minutes, I set the 5 focus that I'm going to focus on the next week. I got a big board in my office. I work from home, and there's the 5 things I'm going to focus on tomorrow. And the reason I do that before I go to bed is because if I sleep on that, answers come to me before I even start. But I also lay out my supplements for the day. I fill my water jug. I put out my workout clothes. I am militarized because I was military, but I never go to bed without being set up for the next day. And that's one of the secrets of exercising in the morning is putting your crap out when you go to bed at night. Because when you get up in the morning, if you're tired and you're trying to search for your clothes, I'm sorry, you just go back to bed. It's not going to happen.
That's what I was going to.
That's what I was going to. I have just
Great.
10 seconds. I don't get up at 2, but
I don't recommend that. It's a unique, unique thing.
But you know what? It's good. I'm not like Eric Thomas. I love him so much. He spoke my company. He says I don't need no alarm clock to wake me up. I do, actually.
I don't. Never.
I want to sleep in, but there's something sacred, and I have 5 kids, so there's different seasons about those early morning hours. And number one, like everyone I know, don't watch the news first thing in the day. I don't even watch the news anymore.
I don't know what the news is going on. I don't know what's going on in the
so when I
world.
first wake up, I don't get on social media. That Brain Dot app or whatever, I'll listen to. It has like a little meditation thing.
Yeah, it's
For
been
me,
really
for everyone that's like, I used to think meditation was so weird till I realized, and we all have ADD and I couldn't sit still. I started by doing it for 2 minutes and 5 minutes. Now I can do 15. I realized it actually clears all the stuff that's blocking your head, and it allows you to be more creative. And then I go like on a morning walk or a jog. And to me, when I go on a jog, that's therapeutic for me. That's like, I believe in God. That's when I talk to God. That's when I can think through my day. That's when they're writing down what they're grateful for. That's when I'm looking at, I'm so grateful that I can run. I'm grateful for these trees. I told Greg I saw a white squirrel as the sun was coming up. I'm grateful for this beautiful white squirrel. And it sets your rhythm and your tone for the whole day. Before I go to bed, I set everything out for when I'm going to jog. I used to sleep in my a 20-pound weight vest in my bed. So when I would wake up, I'd be ready to go.
Say I'm weird.
Till my wife said, if you wear that damn thing in here one more time.
How did your sex life go with that? I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. We don't want to talk about it on a family show, but I'm a little curious with a 20-pound vest.
Not good. So I don't do this. So now I lay it on the floor by the bed.
Just curious how that rolled.
But like he was saying, make it as easy as you can so that next day you can just get right into it. So the more excuses you won't have to avoid it. Ba-boom.
They're talking about meditation. Listen, I didn't know what meditation was. Only thing I knew, I'd heard that Om thing. I said, I can do that. I could do that because I used to go through McDonald's. I sat there at the drive-thru and they go, I would just think what I wanted. But now I do meditation. People are afraid of it. Meditation just means just sitting in the room being still, getting your mind out.
Your mind. You're not going to shut your mind off.
You
don't shut it off.
And you have to think, when they were asked what's your morning routine, I learned this from Wayne Dyer. And he says every night he went to bed, he would always used to wake up stressed, so he put a little sign on his bed. And he look at every day a happy thought and he'd say, tomorrow's going to be an amazing day. Because how many people go to bed with my child's sick, my mother's got cancer? You have to get that stuff out of your mind because you'll never wake up if you keep thinking that stuff. So if you put someone in your bed, you know what? Today's going to be amazing. Today was a great day. You have to. I watched Looney Tunes. I watched the Three Stooges that night. Mark and I talked about the news. My morning routine is before my feet hit the floor, I will not leave the floor until I thank God for letting me open my eyes, for putting my 2 feet on the floor. So I do 10 things that I'm grateful for. When I sit in my big 12 men, women shower, whatever, I turn the water on and I just sit there and I think, someone doesn't have clean running water in this world. So I'm thankful. See, it's the little things that mean the most. Just to turn your tap on and to have clean running water. There's people in Africa where Mark's wife's from. They have what's called parasites, and they have tapeworms that you can pull out 6 feet out of your body. We don't have to.
Flint, Michigan.
Yeah, Flint, Michigan. Go to Pennsylvania where they're fracking it. They're fracking in Ohio, and you turn the water on, and you can light the water.
Yeah.
So just having water, clean running water. It's not the big things. People say, when I get the nice house or $100,000, no, it's the small things.
Live in the future.
It's the small things. Like I said, go talk to someone who's dying of prostate cancer or ovarian cancer right now. I guarantee you it's not the house or the money. It's I want to go to a birthday. I want to walk in the rain. So be grateful for the small things. That's what matters in life.
Yeah, and by the way, this whole discussion doesn't really matter. None of this, like you may be listening, going, dude, I want you to tell me how to be a millionaire. Right. Right. But so this people argue.
All have in common.
So like you'll hear this before, but the behind the scenes, what you may not know is, we get hired by NFL teams or NBA teams to say, Dan, come help us. How do I help a guy who we're paying $40 million over 2 or 3 years? How do we help you? How do we help him be a high performer? It's the same advice for that high performer in the NBA or the NFL. Hey, so-and-so is 19 years old or 23 years old. We just signed him to a $120 million contract. How do we keep him focused for 5 years? It's the same exact thing. If it helps, Cristiano Ronaldo kick more goals than anyone else in the Premier League, it'll work for you. So it's the small things, and stop making excuses. You can do all of this stuff in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and your life will change in ways that at first you're going to go, well, that was lucky, and they're going to say, well, that was accidental, and you say, oh, that was coincidental, and you'll look back over a year and go, my relationships are better, my health is better, I'm actually got some money, because I'm not stressed out, I'm making better financial decisions, and I'm an evening person, not a morning person, and I finally woke up one day and said, dude, it's not the fact that you're not a morning person, you're not a motivated person. And I'm about as driven as anybody you'll ever meet in your life. And what I had to realize was, why was I getting up in the morning? Because I have an obsession to grow and to be a better version of myself, and that's my motivation for getting my ass out of bed. Is if I don't, that might be the only window, that hour, that 2 hours at 5 a.m. might be the only hour I get all day, right? Where I can grow. And if I'm obsessed about growing,
that's it.
I'm not going to let you steal it from me.
It's
right?
the most peaceful time. People think I'm crazy, but I'm driving to the gym at 3. I'm driving to the gym at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no traffic. It's little traffic, right? It's peaceful. My workouts are spiritual. I don't care what anybody says. That is my time that I get to do and take care of me. Because after that, it's game on. Boom, clicks on. I got clients all over the world. Like you, Dan. Boom, it clicks on.
Yeah, there's really 3 things that motivate any of us, right? Money, sex, health. Those are, I mean, if you look at any advertising program or turn on the TV late at night if you pay for cable. I don't, but if I'm in a hotel room, right? What are they selling? A workout machine, something to do with love or sex or money, right? Those are the 3 things. So think about how your morning routine helps you with those 3 areas. How do you feel more fulfilled and confident so you can get the love and the relationships you want? What are you doing for your health? First thing in the morning, right? And think about money. What are those quiet moments you're working on your business, working on your side hustle, so you can make money? And so the answer to your morning routine is, look, you gotta. At 38, I think I've tried 47 different things, and I'll continue to keep iterating the science model of it. What makes me better?
I love the science.
Right?
I study like the brain waves. I sleep with a certain binaural beat. I've been using things when I sleep at night, Dan. When they still had boom boxes and cassette tapes. That's how long the invention of the phone's the greatest thing ever happened to me. And now I can wear buds? Are you kidding me? It works.
Even now, super millennial over here with the wireless buds.
Because I don't want to waste any time in my life, and that includes when I sleep.
Look at how you start being a millionaire, like you wrote about in your book, is fantastic. It's a momentum play. One of the, this may be a question someone asked later, the single greatest key performance indicator, KPI, that is not measured in big companies is momentum. Because it's something you feel. Momentum. It's something you feel. They want to know what sales. Sales happen later. Marketing, who knows if it works. Advertising, hopefully it works, right? But momentum. And so when you start at 2 a.m., your momentum, by noon, boom!
I'm going.
Your momentum is like you just
people,
feel like I can't stop now. I did 10 things. I got to do 10 more.
Guys, I use meditation.
Right.
But I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that everybody can step out and do that. I've been doing this for 3 decades.
But try one thing.
But try
one thing.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
In short, what we're saying is nothing changes unless you change.
Exactly.
There you go. There you go.
Even if it's 5 minutes
Set the
earlier.
intention to change, people.
Next question.
Yeah.
So the next question, I'm pretty sure you guys just covered it. It said, what's one of the daily habits that you changed in your lifestyle that was the most effective? And I think everyone agreed. Just wake up earlier and get it done.
Yeah, wake up, start. That's it.
All right, so Christina asks, I know in order to be successful, there's always sacrifices. What's the hardest sacrifice you had to make? How did this accelerate your success? And would you do it again with the result that you got?
I would. I slept in my business 4 years, 7 days a week, leave an hour to go home see my baby and shower. Would I do it again? Absolutely. What I did was I paid my first business off in 2.5 years instead of 5, 7, or 10. And you have to make sacrifices now. It's easier now because back 30 years ago, we didn't have an iPhone. Now I could see my newborn baby girl and we could FaceTime. Yeah. Right? I didn't have to miss an NBA playoff game because now I can watch it on my phone. But there's always going to be sacrifices. And listen, to every woman that's watching this in this audience now, they had to sacrifice when they had the child. It was painful. Yeah. It was painful. I don't know if I can make it, right? But when they see that baby, there's the sacrifice. And then you see that baby is your girl, your daughter, your business, whatever. There's always going to be a sacrifice. Anything that's easy will be hard. Anything hard will be easy.
Yeah. I don't know that I list any one particular sacrifice. Give me, but I don't know. I mean,
model, the thing, it works the same.
yeah. I'll just say this. It's a great question. Someone told me this. I didn't make this quote, but someone told me this quote. It's framed. It's burned into my brain, and it's simply this: if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice. And that's really what we're talking about here. It's not about if you sacrifice. You will sacrifice. It's what it is. It's either your dream or your lifestyle. And once you understand, it's like what I said earlier about making money. Well, I can't save $100 a month. You can't. To become a millionaire, almost a guaranteed millionaire, you can't save $150 a month for 5 years. To become almost a guarantee. Get out of here.
But you have a
right?
55-inch flat screen TV.
And 300 channels.
Yeah.
right.
300 channels.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so
everything they're saying is 100% true, and what Greg said is similar to my story too. Sacrificed. I had a job, I had a salary teaching special ed. My wife got pregnant. We had 2 kids. It was the recession. Started my own company. I just got accepted into this high-end school. I would have been making $65,000, which would have been good. I had to turn the school down. I went all in on my company, and my office started in a barn, and I didn't know how I was going to make it. I was working in my brother's barn at his campground, literally in a barn, running extension cords out, and not knowing how we were going to make it, but I believed in it, and I just kept going one day, one step at a time, sacrificed hundreds and hundreds of hours a week, but I knew it was going to not be forever. There's different seasons in your life. Like everyone says, grind, hustle, grind, and Greg says it too, but you shouldn't be working 200 hours a week always and then let your family, but there's going to be seasons when you do start something that like Greg said, you got to put hundreds of hours. It's like building that foundation of a tree to start something. You have to sacrifice. I didn't watch TV. I love the Denver Broncos. I had to murder them. I stopped watching. I haven't watched football for 3 years.
There's some things I will sacrifice. That's not one of them.
I did. I stopped, and I wasn't up on anything. Yeah.
I'm not sacrificing that. So yeah, it's weird because I never think of sacrifice that way. I never felt like I sacrificed. The biggest thing I ever did in Miami, I opened up the very first ever personal training clinic. Nobody had ever done that before. In the 80s, they thought personal training, who's going to pay for you to count reps? Who knew? I lived in my car for a year outside the gym. 1 year. Yeah, one more rep. Who's going to count that? But I figured it out. I put it in an executive building and this, and I lived in my car for a year. And I had a routine. I mean, I would literally sleep in my car. Now, it wasn't good for dating. Dating was kind of weak then. But I'm just saying, I would go in. I would go in. I mean, but it didn't matter. I would take my clothes to like this place called Bird Bath. They would do all my clothes. I would get in the gym a half hour early. I would shower and do everything there. I would finish probably 9:30, 10 at night. I ate down in the restaurant below, egg whites and stuff. I was bodybuilding. I would go to my car and sleep and get back up and do it again because I couldn't get a loan. Nobody would give me a loan. So that's the way I built the business. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't think sacrifice. I don't feel. I thought it was a venture. I know. To me, I always look at things. That was a venture for me.
So no one invested in your startup, right?
Yeah, they wouldn't. They thought I was crazy.
And let me say one more thing. Every one of us here, we have what's called a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You have to have a non-negotiable in your life. With me, it's when my nieces are out of school, they're with their Uncle G all the time. People see me on Facebook, Periscope, whatever. They're like, dude, didn't you see like 5 movies today?
Yeah.
Yes, because the life I had, I made my daughter my priority. People say, how can you do that? It's easy. We lead our life. We design our life. Yeah. So my niece is out. We're bowling. We're skating. I leave a lot of money on the table because I want to have that family life. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be the friend I had who died with $57 million. His 2 kids were drug addicts, and he could not tell you the name of the schools they went to.
Yeah.
That's failure. Have a non-negotiable.
Greg, you find that you hit your 50s is a little. I find now that I'm in my 50s that it's a little bit different because peace is very important.
It is.
I want to be peaceful. I mean, I don't need the big mansions anymore. I don't need these things. I want to build things that matter. I want to change lives, and I want to have a blast doing it.
That's it.
I love this, and I want to teach young David. I want to teach him from the ground up. This is how you build something, and it's fun. But it's different, right? I'm not grinding like these guys anymore because I don't need to. First of all, I don't have to. I want to enjoy it a little bit.
I'm the same way.
You know,
My
okay.
wife and
I
I
was
are
wondering because that changed when I hit 50.
My wife and I's new thing now is traveling. Our traveling is the new. I'm downsizing.
Oh, I beat you. I travel everywhere.
Because when I look at my house,
I travel
when I look
everywhere,
at the house I grew up with 14 siblings was the size of my niece's loft in their bedroom. Right? So we look at it and say, okay, our niece is going to be out of school a couple of years. Why do we need this?
We did this. We just did the same thing.
Why do we need this?
We just did it.
You can live off less than what you have. Do I need my home? No. I love my movie theater. I have a drive-in outside, but do I need those? No. So our new thing is we're going to travel because at 50 it does change.
That's what I do, man. We go to Amsterdam every year,
51.
Europe every year. And now
38?
I don't watch the Packers on the big screen. I'm going to the games. I'm at the playoff games, sitting in Green Bay, second row. That's where I'm going. I want to enjoy. I want to go and travel.
Yeah, so don't let people think, like Mark said, there are seasons where you got to work a lot. But those guys, and I know those people who make millions of dollars and they haven't seen a movie or been to a football game in 15 years. Now you do that. You do that because
not doing that.
life is made to live, not to plan to live.
And I'm going to build something. Let David work 90 hours.
That's
a
right.
week
Let
now.
young
It's
millennial.
It's his season. Super millennial season, man, not mine.
So there's levels. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so the next one, which is cool because you all have a different point of view on this one, is how has fitness and nutrition played a role in your success? Christina also asked that question.
It made me a millionaire.
I'll answer from it. What got me, it saved my life when I was in jail after age 17, and what started changing my life from being in jail and selling drugs and doing them, and the two roommates I live with are dead now, is two things. I started reading, which I had never read a book till I was 18, and I started working out for the first time in my life, lifting weights, running, and that started changing literally. And I jog now 6 days a week. I never have stopped. That's become part of who I am. And it changed my life. Like, exercise really changed my life.
My turn?
Maybe. Yeah.
So for me, I went from being the fattest kid in school, but I was always an athlete. Now, I want you guys to understand this. I always played sports and I just liked food. I didn't like food. That's how I dealt with my abuse. I don't know how great you dealt with all that. I dealt with food. That's how I dealt with it. So I went from there into bodybuilding. I was the most unhealthiest, not when I was 278 pounds, when I was bodybuilding. Because everything was to the extreme. I took it to the extreme. I know it's your book, I'm sorry. Hey, I took everything to the extreme, but I mean, it wasn't a healthy sport. You gain all this weight, big. We call it bulking. You didn't get fat. You was bulking up. And then you would cut down to 3% body fat. It wasn't normal. And so I remember when I walked away, I was probably 1990, 91. I had won 7 titles. I was really good. Probably at the top of that class in the United States. And I looked in the mirror one day and I said, what the hell am I doing? I love working out, but I don't love this. And I stopped the extreme. So for me, exercise now, that's where my life really changed, was back in the 90s, because I love working out. I can't imagine not doing it. It's just, it's not something like, oh man, we got to go to the gym today? No, man, today we're training legs.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
This guy runs one of those guys.
That's it. Oh yeah.
And
I like to beat the 20-year-olds up like you wouldn't believe. It's fun.
I forgot to mention in this guy's intro, he runs like 2-mile marathons or 20,
you guys ready for extreme?
He runs like
Mr.
75-mile
Waldschmidt,
ultra
tell him what
marathons.
exercise really
so
is.
you tell us, 'cause that's insanity.
Well, you asked a good question. Like, what is fitness or nutrition made for? I mean, look, and maybe you just said it, but in your talk, I mean, the drug we all put in our bodies is food, or
especially sugar, right?
I mean, sugar. I mean, if you ever, there's a book called The Case Against Sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll blow your mind.
Book. No, it's an incredible book.
10 times more addictive than cocaine. And by the way, I say this on the stage, don't I, Matt? You know, I love my jelly beans. In fact, I'll run a 100-mile race on jelly beans and Coke, right? I mean, I've done it before. I mean, that's how.
Like Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Coca-Cola. Yeah.
And we're figuring you
I'm back. So Yeah. Good clarification. But I mean, I think for me, running really allowed me. I don't want to be dramatic and say it saved my life or anything like that. I don't have any stories like that. Although I was emotionally unstable and suicidal and things like that. I think for me, running for me is pure because if you're playing basketball, you're like, well, we would have won, but that dude didn't pass me the ball. Or if I was playing football, it's like, I would have scored a touchdown, but the stupid QB, he underthrew me. But running, I mean, it's you. It's you, baby.
Same with lifting.
It's you. So you're out there on a trail, and I don't want to be dramatic, but it's kind of spiritual. I mean,
it is.
To run a 100-mile race, or even a marathon, whatever your 5K, right? I mean, whatever your journey is, there's this process of it, like excitement. I'm going to do this. To like, what the hell did I do? To like, I don't think I'm going to make it. To like, well, I'm almost there. Let me see if I can keep going. To, I joke sometimes that I'll run a 24-mile race so that for 4 seconds I can do this as I cross the finish line. Isn't that ridiculous? For 4 seconds, I want to raise my finger and say I'm a winner. But it's not the raising of the finger. It's the soul and the spirit that says I can do anything.
Well, it's actually science. You want to talk science a little bit on that? So when we talk about the red zone, green zone, right? The stress response is never shutting off. In other words, that response is going off the moment you wake up, and it is a hormonal response that affects every single thing in your body. The number one way, or the only way, forget that. And I'm talking science. I've looked at hundreds of thousands of labs and blood work and things. The only way to control it is through your diet. We lose weight when we stop trying to lose weight. You got to repurpose the reason that you're eating. You're actually eating to manage this response. Now, how do you know when the response is managed? 1, you have high energy. 2, you sleep very soundly. 3, you think very clearly because you're in the green zone. And 4, you don't have cravings. How hard is it for me to go to a buffet and they can have all these foods and you don't want it? It doesn't take, everybody goes, Bill, you got willpower. No, I don't. I'm in the green zone. I don't want it. How hard is it for me to walk away? So for those that are looking for the right exercise system, and that it's a system. You got to live a system. So my system is comprised of 6 days a week I eat to manage the stress response. 7th day is mine. Because listen, you don't lose 100 pounds 3 times without having a little bit of eating problems going on, right?
That's your cheat day.
That's my cheat day. Today is my cheat day. You'll never see it. That's my girl. You'll never see it, but it is my cheat day. And David will tell you, I'll eat whatever I want. It doesn't matter. I'll eat whatever I want. Tomorrow, it's back on regimen. Because you got to understand, you're eating to manage stress. So you manage your nervous system so you can step outside the cage and make money. That's what it is. It really is.
Think about how much, I mean, look, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but I feel like more.
And next, quick, we'll go to a question. I want the audience to do a question next. After Greg goes.
The thing is, look, it sounds melodramatic. I'm not trying to be melodramatic, but there's a lot of people that you bump into on a daily basis that are either angry, really angry, just kind of masking it under this layer of like congeniality, right? And the other flip side is hurting. People struggling in marriage, struggling financially, struggling physically. I mean,
a lot of
it's
people.
Staggering.
A lot of people.
And we medicate ourselves, which I get. We do it. We, alcohol. There's a lot of ways we medicate, right? And the thing that exercise does for us is that it gives us I joke sometimes in practice. Matt's heard me. People say, "Man, you're so fast. How do you do this?" And I'm like, "I'm angry." And I'm somewhat joking, but there's a little bit of truth to that. Is I channel my insecurity, I channel my rage that I couldn't close a deal 2 days ago, but I'm on this track and I'm going to own it. For the next 45 minutes, I will leave everything emotionally, physically on this track. And when I leave, it's like a spiritual event. I'm done. I'm exhausted. Right? I've left it here, and you know what's fine? I'm not when I go home, when I'm driving home, I'm not flipping somebody off next to me. 1, I'm too tired, and 2, cranky. I may be yelling at Matt to help me with something, right? Exactly. I'm not going home and yelling at my wife or my kids. Why? I purged that. I purged it.
Never yell at your wife and kids.
Oh, all the time. But I mean, on those days where I'm in that, why? Because I've given it an outlet that part of that stress. And so everyone's going to do something differently. I'm not trying to say you need to be a runner.
Walking, guys. I'm telling you, it's movement.
That's what I do.
You know, it's walking.
Yeah.
Now, when you're just walking, it's movement.
Yeah, you were saying that
designed
earlier.
to move.
Well, what do you do with your? What do you do with walking?
You know, in Columbus, Ohio, we have the biggest fitness Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, because that's where Arnold started at.
Yeah.
And I heard him say, if you get up and you just move, he says, I was talking to Mr. Millennial here, he says, you don't have to be Mr. Olympia. You don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You ride a bike, you walk. So people see me on my Facebook Live, and I'm on my treadmill at a 6% incline with my 50-pound weight vest. Now, I like the weight vest. It just does something to me.
You don't sleep with it, do you?
No.
Try that tonight.
No.
Try that.
No, I like sleeping with the 110-pound weight vest. But listen, I tell people, Les Brown always says, it's not what people's eating is killing them, it's what's eating at them that's killing them. I can tell you, most of us have something we run to food on. And how, listen, I'm 51, I've never touched drugs, alcohol, or anything, but my food is killing me. People laugh. I say I'm a heroin addict, just like my brother and sister. They say you're not.
I get that.
But because I'm a lifelong diabetic and my family didn't take care of me with my insulin, I have half of a right foot. 3 years ago, I almost lost my life and my leg. So every day I have to move, like Arnold Schwarzenegger says. You don't have to do, we talked about this. If you're doing a bench press, you don't have 50, you don't have to use 65-pound dumbbells.
Oh, that's what people understand. It's movement.
Yeah, it's just moving. Do yoga, do push-ups. If you don't have a bench press, do push-ups on the sidewalk. But it's doing something. But food is killing us. Sugar. Sugar is just like the new heroin.
It actually kicks the stress response off. So, in fact, the way my body processes sugar, if I eat an apple, I go in the red zone. That's the way my body works. Well, no, but there's actually different physiologies. You're looking at another thing. You're looking at two different physiologies. So after 30 years and thousands of people testing, there are really two physiologies. These two are one physiology. Their bodies will work differently. Greg and I are different. Like, I'm not running anywhere. Running for me actually stresses my body out and sticks me in the red zone. Running for these guys, that's what puts them in the green zone. So there's different physiologies in that. But Greg said it. I'm telling you guys, move. Just move. If you don't move now, move. That's all.